Hi there everybody, this is Angie Oldenburg coming back for another video for our vlog hop, our global Stampin' Share Fair group. You are going to be hopping around to several demonstrators today. If you want to watch the next one, certainly go down to the description below and press on the link. If you like my video, I would love if you would subscribe and hit the like button. That would always help. And I hope you enjoy my project. We're focusing today on home decor. So I found this little grapevine wreath at a craft store, and I thought it would be cute to decorate for a summer decoration. It could be at home, or it could be in your little office space or your craft room or a cubicle if you're back in the office. I think it's just a cute project and can be really versatile. So we'll get started. I will go through the list of what we need right here at the beginning, and then I'll put it on the screen as well so that you all have the items that I used today. Again, this is just a grapevine wreath standard issue. It was under $2, I think, at the craft store. I am going to be using the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, and also the punch that goes with it. And then we are also going to be using, the only ink actually we're going to be using today is Memento Black, just to stamp the dragonfly. We're going to be using shimmery white cardstock, soft sea foam, and balmy blue blends, Wink of Stella, and our punches that we're going to use that's probably the most we're going to use, different punches. So of course this ribbon here is the gingham ribbon, and it's actually just jade gingham ribbon, but it looks really good with mint macaron. So I've got some mint macaron cardstock scraps that I punched these little guys out of, and then made a loop and a bow with the gingham ribbon from the Flowers for Every Season combo pack. So again, it's just jade, but it matches really well with the mint macaron. So the other thing I've got on here are some pearls, just to decorate it up a little bit. This paper here is our ombre specialty paper, and it comes in several colors when you get the package. It comes in Gorgeous Grape, Mango Melody, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. And this is actually the Mango Melody, but it's got a gradient, of course, because it's an ombre sheet, so it gives you lots of different color options. And I think it would go well with the Mango Melody, of course, but Daffodil Delight and some of our lighter yellows also. The only other thing you would need would be a hot glue gun. So you can do a cool one or a hot one, or however that works. I just have it sitting on beside me here because I have it. I use my silicone mat and put it on there, so if it drips glue or anything, it goes on there versus my desk. Okay, so let's get working on our wreath. I am going to move this away while we're putting it together, and I'll bring it back in when we're done. So the first thing I did, and I did a lot of these steps ahead of time just for ease of filming, and this stuff is pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science. So what I did is I used both the daisy punch and the medium daisy punch, and I punched out daisies from the ombre paper. So 2 for large ones and 2 for 6 small ones. And then you put them together. I just used a glue dot to stick them together and overlap the petals so they look like a flower, and they have more petals. Now I waited until I had the whole thing put together before I put the pearls on. I did that last. The other thing I punched out ahead of time are these little sprigs. This is our sprig punch, and it looks like this. and I punched several of those out of mint macaron cardstock. I think I did 6 or 8, but we can see how it lays together and where we might need some greenery. On the one I did here, I cut them apart and kind of put them in individually, but you can put them in all in one piece also. Okay, so this is where we need the hot glue gun. Actually, first of all, you need to kind of decide which direction you want your wreath to go. So I might actually do it this way. So all I did was hot glue gun and put the daisies on the wreath. So very, very easy to do. So I just put a little dollop of hot glue on the back, and I kind of did the large ones first, and you can actually even kind of alternate the flowers and the little sprigs so that some of it's sticking out and some of it is being hidden. However you want to layer things. You can certainly put more flowers on, fewer flowers on. You can do the whole wreath in flowers. That would be cool too, to do a whole flower wreath. I might put this little guy. I can kind of tuck him behind here too. Might tuck him down underneath. Of course, you know, here are the little daisies. Just a little, you don't need a lot of hot glue. Actually, hold on, I might, well, let's see. It takes a little playing around. The other thing about hot glue, you know, if you have not ever used it, is that you don't have to be on a completely smooth surface in order for it to stick, which is the huge advantage when you're doing a wreath or something like this. And I did overlap a little bit, of course. Actually, you know what? Let's stick one of these guys in here so that it's coming out the end. And I put one of these. Kind of have to face it towards you to see what it looks like. You guys can probably see a better perspective than I can from, whoops. Let's see, where else would I want to go with this? We got one more group of flowers to put on too, so let's do, maybe I'll put the flowers on first. This is the hardest part about this whole project, is figuring out your layout for your flowers. And the reason I'm doing this part first is so that we have time. This will dry while we're coloring our dragonfly. Yeah, I think that'll work. Oop. Knocking my glue over. Just gonna kind of tuck that behind here. And that'll look good. And then I think we need some green down on the bottom here somewhere. You know how that goes if you've ever done crafting. So I'm gonna go this way maybe, kind of down. So there, I like that. Like I said, you could do multiple, you know, you could go all the way around the wreath. You could do different colored flowers, however you want it to look. So so while we're letting this dry, I am going to move this up here and I'm going to bring in the dragonfly. So I actually stamped this ahead of time, and then we'll punch it out. And it doesn't really matter if you punch it before you color it or after it. This is, like I said, shimmery white, and the only reason I use this is I thought maybe the shimmer would come through a little bit. It does, but not as much as I wanted it to, so that's why I used the Wink of Stella over the top of it too. So you wouldn't have to use shimmery white cardstock. It's also a little thicker so it will hold up a little bit better on a home decor piece. So you could use thick white cardstock as well. You know, hopefully it won't have a lot of wear and tear on it once you have it hanging up wherever. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in my blends. And what I did, there's no magic to this either. So of course we have a dark blend and a light blend in each of the colors. And so I did the light soft sea foam. Let's see, I need the brush end, and just did the wings. And the other thing is I had stamped these ahead of time because you really want to make sure that the Memento ink is dry, really dry well before you use the blends, otherwise it can smear some. So I like to let it sit for a few minutes before I use those. So then I came back in with the dark soft sea foam and just kind of did a little bit of shading kind of in the inside here where it might be a little bit darker if they're curved, and maybe a little bit on the outer edge. You know, I haven't looked at a dragonfly real close lately to see what they look like, but I thought that would be appropriate. And then came back in with the light. That's kind of how I like to use my blends. Do the light first, do the dark where you're going to do the shading, and then go back in with the light to smooth it out. I know different people have different methods of using the blends markers. So when I looked at that then compared to my ribbon, I kind of felt that it was too green to match my ribbon. So what I did is I just brought in my balmy blue, and you can blend colors. So what I did was I just kind of went over this a little bit with just a few little touches of blue, just to make it kind of look variegated and shiny, because you know dragonfly wings are transparent actually, so they're gonna kind of shimmer and not be a solid color. So I just kind of came back in and went over the top of it with a little blue. So I thought that looked pretty. And then let it dry just a little bit. And then with the Wink of Stella, went over the top of it. So I absolutely love Wink of Stella. It is my go-to when I do like to add sparkle to something. Absolutely love it because it's easy to use and it is so pretty. And I thought since the ombre paper is sparkly, I wanted my dragonfly sparkly also. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set that aside so it can dry and put the rest of our wreath together. So I'm going to just put that over here, let her dry, him or her, pull this back in. Certainly you've got a little sparkly dragonfly you could use too somewhere, color it in. And then I am going to bring in the pearls. So I'm using I love using my take your pick tool for any embellishments. So I used the larger pearls since these daisies are bigger, and I just used my putty end, and this kind of stuck out a little bit. Pull that off and just kind of let it stick to the end of the putty end and place it down onto your project. So it works perfectly to grab any embellishments off of these cards that have adhesive on the back, and just adds a little bit of feminine touch, prettiness. All right, now here comes the challenge, is doing the bow. So actually what I did for the loop for where I'm hanging it from, I just tied a little knot at the top. So we'll do that again with this. This one's a little bit longer because I felt like that sample that I did, the loop was a little short, so I cut a little bit more. This is 12 inches. I used 12 inches of ribbon for both the loop and for the bow. So just kind of did something like that, so that, and you can make the knot as high or low as you want. And then I always kind of come in and trim the frayed edges to make it pretty. So here's my trick for making bows. And I don't know if anybody else does it this way, but I do the rabbit ear kind of technique where you make 2 bunny ears and then you tie them in a knot. And you don't want to pull it tight right away because you're going to want to futz with it a little. That's a very technical term. But when you turn it over, you get the nice edge here, or nice bow kind of shape. And you just have to kind of tighten up the ends and the loops however you want them tightened. And I'm pretty amazed at myself. I was able to do that on camera. So I had another one made just in case it didn't go very well, because sometimes that happens. And then again, I just kind of snip off make a pretty end on them, make them even, or sort of even. And then what I did for the ribbon here too is I just put a little piece of glue down so that it would hang the way I wanted to hang it. So I'll put a little dab of glue right there. And then you can put your ribbon, and then your ribbon won't move around. And then since I was just using hot glue, I use hot glue for the ribbon to attach this to. Now you certainly could use tape or whatever, or glue dot, or I figured since I was using hot glue for the rest of it, I could use it for this too. And there's the ribbon. And then hopefully the dragonfly's dry here. I used just like, you can wrap it around a pen, or you can use your bone folder just to kind of curl up the wings a little bit. And then see where you want to place it on your flowers. So this side, I put it over here. I don't know, I might put it down here since there's a little bit of a dip in this wreath. Maybe I'll put it down on this side, on this wreath. And again, just used a little bit of a hot glue dab on the back, just because it's, again, easy because it's an irregular surface that you're sticking it to. So it's really tough for tape to adhere to something like that. So I hope you liked this project. It was fun to kind of think out of the box. I don't very often do home decor item videos or projects for myself. So this was a fun challenge. The other thing that you could do is put a little greeting on here if you wanted to. So this is just the smile from the Daisy stamp set. And I thought this would look cute on here if you wanted to add that. Kind of a reminder to yourself in your cubicle to smile during the day. Or if you had some other type of inspirational phrase on a stamp, you could certainly add that on if you wanted to. This is just a little banner punch that we have, and on a scrap of white. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you enjoy the rest of everyone's projects. Don't forget to click on the next person's video. That will be listed in the description box below. Please again, hit the subscribe button if you would. I would appreciate it. Or the like button if you liked my project. Comment below also. I would love to hear your comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day.